Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my June wrap up. I did want to film this outside in the sun, but my neighbours are blaring 70s pop hits, which wouldn't make a good background for the video, and it would also mean that they could hear everything I'm saying. So we're going to stick with inside. So I read 9 books in June, which isn't bad by any means, but I did want to read a little bit more, so I'm slightly disappointed. But they were all relatively good books. I read 4 3-star reads, 1 4-star read, and 4 5-star reads, meaning my average rating was a 4. So I had a good reading month in terms of quality, not so much in terms of quantity, because I wanted to get so much more read in June. So I'm going to run you through the 3 stars, 4 stars and 5 stars in that order, and then in the 3-star category and the 5-star where there's more than one, I'm going to just do the first one I read to the last one I read rather than try and order them there. I think that makes sense. So let's get into it. The first 3-star read I had was Going Bovine by Libba Bray. I read this for my travelling book club, so I read this book while annotating it and then sent it out to the next person in the group. I didn't hate this book by any means, but I think it was a little long and it was a little predictable. So I guessed maybe 100 pages in, maybe it was even sooner than that. I guessed early on what the big reveal was going to be, and I have proof of that because I wrote it in the book while I was reading. And yeah, it just was a little bit too predictable. And there were places I got confused and lost, and I just feel like you could have easily cropped 100 pages out of that book and still got to the same ending. So that book got 3 stars. I'm really looking forward to getting this book back off my friends to see what they thought of it as well, because maybe I'll get some different opinions, but for now, 3 stars. The next book I read was Up Close and Personal by Leonie Fox. This was an adult romance that really was just nothing special. I would normally give a book that I read like this 2 stars, but I did have such an enjoyable time reading it. So this was about 3 women who are each having their own complications with their relationships in their lives, and it just sort of talks about how they deal with them and what's happening, who's cheating on who they get to know instead, stuff like that. So it was pretty standard, but I really enjoyed my time reading it. I don't think there's anything else I can say more than that. I don't think I'd leap at the chance to read another of Leonie Fox's work, but I remember I got it for free and it was an alright read, so I had a decent time. The next 3-star book is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. So this I actually only got in June, and as soon as I had it on my shelf I had to go for it. This is the 3rd book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. So this is following a girl called Isabel and her relationship struggles with 2 brothers, Jeremiah and Conrad. I remember that. This I gave 3 stars because, again, I did enjoy my time reading it, but it was definitely nothing special. It was, again, very predictable. I think that's one of the things that brings ratings on books down for me, is I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I didn't enjoy it too much because of that. But the story made me smile. There was maybe a little tear at one point. So it definitely is deserving of 3 stars. The next 3-star book is one I actually took to the charity shop this morning, so I can't show you, and that is Every Day by David Levithan. I think I would have enjoyed this more if I didn't watch the Netflix film, so I think if you're tempted to watch the film but have the book, please read the book first. So this is about a person called A who every day wakes up in a different body, and I don't mean that in a mental sense. In a physical sense, they wake up in a different body. They could be anyone, but normally they are their age, and they bounce around moving into the different bodies of that age, and they never go to the same person twice. So this one was actually really interesting. I like seeing the differences from the book to the movie, but in the end I gave it 3 stars because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie more, when normally I think the book is better. But yeah, it just didn't really gel with me at points. I didn't really like how it was written, and it was a bit cheesier on paper, to be honest, than on screen. So I would definitely recommend reading it before the movie and then watching the movie, because it might give you a different opinion. But starting from the movie and going backwards, I didn't really enjoy this book as much as I thought I was going to. only 4-star book from my month was Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This was the group book for the Ghibliathon, and I did really enjoy my time reading it. So I half read the physical book and then the audiobook, and I do really think if I just read the physical book, I would have struggled. This is a middle grade, so that is that might affect my what's the word? Opinion, that's what I meant. It might affect my opinion because I am not the targeted audience of this book, so sometimes the way it was written really lost me. But yeah, listening to the audiobook and reading the physical book made up for that in most senses. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me, and I think if this would have been a reread, if I would have read it when I was younger, maybe that was the case, but starting out at 21 reading this book, it didn't quite hit the 5 stars. The first 5-star book I read was Done Dirt Cheap by Sarah Lemon. I loved this book, I genuinely loved it. So this is about Tourmaline and her new friend Virginia, and Tourmaline's dad is the president of a motorcycle club, and it's basically just about her relationships with her dad and the motorcycle club and everything that he does. And Virginia, she doesn't know why, but she's been sent to find out information on the club by her boss. So she does this by forging a friendship with Tourmaline, and then all the lines start getting crossed. But I just found this so interesting. My favourite TV show is Sons of Anarchy, and there was so much of this that I could have just put in an episode of that and loved it. And it was just so good. I don't really know what else to say, but if you have any interest in motorbikes, this is a book that you need to read. The next 5-star book I read was Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This I've held on to for this video because it is a library copy and needs to go back to the library. But this was amazing. I don't know why I loved this book so much. It's just a YA contemporary about Penny, who goes off to college, and Sam, who works in the coffee shop on the college campus. And that's really it. And they start texting, as you can see on the cover. And that's pretty much the story. And I literally lapped it up. It was amazing. I thought more of it was written in texts, but there are like quite a couple pages where you see snippets of their texts. Oh, I just found a good one and lost it. There we go. So I thought more of it was like that, and when I saw quite a lot of actual writing, I was weirded out. But this has definitely given me a good reason to look into Mary H.K. Choi's other work. I know that she's got a book coming out this year, and yeah, I found a new author that I really like. Next we have Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. This book made me cry. So this is about a 15-year-old girl called Lena who is from Lithuania, and it gets deported to Siberia, and this is all happening in the time of the Second World War. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And it's just about her journey to Siberia and what they make her do while she's there. And it's just so moving. I think normally I wouldn't have even given this 5 stars, but I was so moved by what actually happened that I had to. It was the same sort of story with Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, where I didn't enjoy the writing as much as the story. That makes sense. But yeah, did really enjoy reading this one. I listened to a bit of the audiobook as well, so I sat and listened to it in my car quite a lot. And I just had a good time reading it, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants some recent historical fiction. Finally, a book that if you watched my TBR for June, you would know that this one was coming, and that is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So I've been doing rereads of the Harry Potter series since January, and this was the first time I read a book that I haven't actually read yet. So this was not a reread of Half-Blood Prince, but this was the first time I'd read it, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I can't give too much away, obviously. I know we all know what Harry Potter is, but just in case one person doesn't. But there was a lot of backstory around Voldemort in this that you don't get in the films, which I enjoyed reading. And just there were quite a lot of things that weren't mentioned in the film at all, and I really enjoyed that. So I've been told there are things in Deathly Hallows as well that aren't mentioned in the film, so I can't wait to read that one because I haven't read that yet either, but I'll be starting that soon. Harry Potter, who can give it less than 5 stars? So thank you for watching this video. If you have any opinions on any of the books I read this month, please do let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.